Joining us now is Ari Fleischer to help us, let's just say, understand what happened with the Bret Baier Kamala Harris interview. Ari, welcome to the program. Ari, give us your expert analysis of that interview.
Well, frankly, I think it's a Rorschach test. I think if you're a Republican, you saw an incompetent leader who talks in circles, who can't put together a substantive answer to anything. And on immigration, she refused to acknowledge that the Biden administration is the cause of all these millions of people coming in across the border. If you're a Democrat, you probably saw her give it to Bret Baier, stand her ground, fight for the position she believed in, and go into the lion's den. I really think it was that type of interview. It wasn't like the Biden debate where everybody agreed Biden fell down and collapsed. I think both sides had something on this. But my biggest takeaway is she refuses to admit how bad the situation is at the border because of what she and Joe Biden did.
Yeah, let's play some of that. I want to play some of that tape here, and I agree. I will say that her failure to answer very basic questions is remarkable. So let's go to this one here. We'll kind of jump around. Let's go to cut 88. 70% of people think the country's on the wrong track. Let's play cut 88.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that over the last decade,
but
people
you're the
have
lever
become.
of power.
But listen.
Ari, your reaction. What are you talking about? One of the best moments I've seen in quite some time.
I love that answer. Over the last decade, you realize who was the president a decade ago? Barack Obama.
It was Obama.
He was the president a decade ago. So she will blame anybody and everybody other than herself and Joe Biden for the very things that are happening now in America, and especially on the border. The very things happening in our cities due to crime. The very things that happen with inflation due to their spending policies. That was a classic case of denying everything that happened under her watch and blaming everybody else, including Obama and Trump. And I just think the American people don't want to hear that. The American people want to hear about, we have problems. These are the problems. This is what I'll do about it. She just goes right to this is what I'll do about it, as if she had nothing to do with creating the problems in the first place.
I think that's spot on. Let's play another piece of tape here, and I want to get your analysis. And by the way, they're calling it an ambush. Yeah, a tough interview is an ambush. Welcome to the daily life of Donald Trump. It's just these people are unbelievable. Actually, I want to get your analysis here. Cut 87, this was the moment where Kamala Harris's team decided to wrap up the interview because this again, how her team was handling this. There's a lot of drama here. Let's play cut 87.
Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions.
Ari, it just feels awfully clumsy to me. Your reaction.
This is the administration, Charlie, that was handed the solution the day they took office. Trump's policies had secured the border in a way that wasn't done previously. And it was working. And they deliberately undid it all. And this is what she, again, refuses to acknowledge or admit. And then she just says, we're going to flip the page, as if she forgot that her picture is on all the pages she's trying to flip, because she's the book we currently are reading. It's her administration and Biden's. It's just avoidance, refusal to take responsibility for the biggest issue. But, Charlie, when it comes to the border, what drives me crazy about the Democrats who talk about the bipartisan congressional bill, everybody should have been for it. Do you honestly think there's anybody sitting in Venezuela right now who has a subscription to Congressional Quarterly and is studying the text of the bill that the Congress may pass, and whether or not the delta in funding between FY 23 and 24 will go up by 2.4%? They're looking at it and saying, Biden's the president. He wants us. We can get in. Harris, she said she was going to decriminalize. We can get in. Trump's crazy. He's going to keep us out. That's what it comes down to.
I think that's such a smart point.
And it's to Trump's credit.
So really quick, Ari, we have a minute and a half with you. Can you analyze Brett's performance? I thought Brett did very well. He asked great questions. People say, oh, he came in too hot. Hold on a second. You only think that because she's never received any tough questions for her entire career. You know what's hot? I'll tell you what hot is. When Donald Trump is just sitting down with an economic club in Chicago, that was much spicier than what we saw there. Your analysis of Brett Baer's performance.
You nailed it, Charlie. What was hot was Donald Trump going before the National Association of Black Broadcasters and getting grilled and drilled right from the start. They didn't even say, hello, how are you? They went right for the throat. Look, Brett Baer did journalism last night. And when you're Kamala Harris and you're the San Francisco DA, you are used to a cocoon of liberal softball questions thrown at you by an adoring media. The same thing when you're at the White House and you're a Democrat. You get the same supportive media. She finally met a reporter who actually asked her hard questions. And it was uncomfortable for her, visibly uncomfortable in several instances. But this is what journalism should be in both directions for all candidates. Sadly, it's only for Trump. It's rarely for the Democrats.